Got it.
Got it.
Hello, ladies. We'll do
Hi.
Nice to see you both.
You as well. Thanks for taking the time to interview with us.
Not a problem. I've been meaning to do this since your last album, your last EP. Which
Yeah,
was
we
great,
definitely
but
thought.
I gotta say, you guys, I don't know, it sounds like your overall sound has improved. Like,
Thank you.
this album is so strong in so many different ways. I mean, Sloan, your vocals are awesome.
Thank you. Thank
All the
you.
different ranges that you're hitting on one, like just on one song, like you're just all over the place with your vocals, and it's just like, wow.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we really tried to kind of push ourselves out of our comfort zone from the last album with this one and just bring a lot more of our influences in. I mean, we had a lot of time to work on it with the pandemic and whatnot, of
Yeah.
course. But yeah, we tried to do something different and incorporate kind of as many different sounds as we could, really.
Well, and it comes across on the album because this is really a concept album, right? But
I mean, the first one was more concept. This is more thematic, I think. Like we kind of stuck with the theme, but from a different perspective.
true, yeah.
A bit looser. It is a bit looser. Like the storyline's still kind of there, but it's venturing into other areas as well and other territories. So
Yeah, I really like it. Like I was listening to it again today. Was
awesome.
I was getting some questions for you tonight.
Sure.
And yeah, and the song that sticks out for me is "Till We Drown."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We've heard that.
that's the song that really, yeah.
And so why does that stick out for you?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just like such a solid song. I mean, all the albums, the whole entire album is, but that's the one that hits home for me.
Cool.
When I keep playing over and over, and it's like, wow, that's a really solid song.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we're glad to hear that. That's great.
Well, of course, you guys want to hear good feedback, right? You don't want to hear, well, the album actually bit.
I mean, it happens, right? So we kind of, you never know what to expect when you release
You know
something.
what, though? When I first started doing this, I would write bad reviews, and then I'm like, who's that? Who? Where does it give me any joy? Because I know so many people in the music business that are trying to make a living, or even just trying to make music, and all the time it takes to get the songs down, then to get them recorded, then you get somebody to help you get them out there. And if you're lucky enough to get a record label or get out on the road and tour, you know, so who am I to say that absolutely sucks? Because that takes.
What's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Don't do
I know,
that.
right?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I mean, to each their own, right? Everyone has their own preferences and their own musical preferences and whatnot. So we get that. And I mean, we don't mind constructive criticism. We do enjoy feedback.
We want to hear it all.
We do want to hear it all. Like we don't, you know, if it's negative, that's just maybe your preference, and we totally get that. So.
But for me, it takes just as much time, if not more, to write a negative review than a positive. So, like that old saying goes, promote what you love and not what you hate, or instead of bashing what you hate, promote what you love. So I'd rather do that.
I like that. I like that you've turned it around. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Well, you gotta, right?
Yeah.
There's enough negativity in the world these days, anyway. So
There certainly is. Yeah, no, it's nice to have a positive spin when you can get one.
yeah. Well, and congrats on the new album. I mean, that's a feat unto itself, right? Is to
Yeah.
get new music out.
Yeah, we're actually already into the next one. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've started writing already. So we're really excited to show you guys or everyone really the new concept for the next album. But we're gonna tour this one first, see how that goes.
Yeah.
Speaking of tour, are you going to end up in BC at all? Are we going to be lucky enough to see you?
We are actually, so October 14th and 15th,
Yeah.
we're going to be playing Okanagan. So we've got Penticton and Kelowna lined up. And then we're hoping to venture to Vancouver in the spring. Unfortunately, I got COVID last year, so we weren't able to play Hyperspace. But we're hoping to venture out that way to see if they'll give us another chance on that festival.
I'm sure Joey will. Yeah, Joey's a good guy.
He's great. Yeah, he is great. So yeah, hopefully we'll be out there in the spring for Hyperspace, and if not, then we'll just try to make it out there for whatever. Yeah.
Well, when you said BC, I was like, oh, ears perked up, but it's the Okanagan.
It is. That's where we're starting with. We're coming into fall and winter, so we're trying not to drive too far when the snow is on the ground. I mean, granted, we're in Alberta and we do it anyway, but through those topsy-turvy mountains, it can be treacherous, so we want to be safe.
Yes. Yeah, make it to next spring, please. Yes. So you can come over here.
We will do our best
to meet you actually in person.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
See you live.
Oh, we can't wait. And that's one thing, honestly, that our fans.
A lot of people are waiting for us.
They wait for the live show. Yeah. It is definitely a step up from the album, and then we love performing live.
You seem to have a lot of joy on being on stage. Like I watched some of your stuff at Loud as Hell from this year, and then you had your album release party at the Rec Room in Calgary on the same day your album came out, right?
It was last Friday that we did that.
Yeah. So how does it feel after all this time to be back on stage?
Well, it hasn't been too long that we've been off stage, but it's always amazing. Like, we spent a lot of the pandemic time at home writing and recording and all that. So just this year we started to get right back into it, and it's exhilarating, of course, but it feels natural too. Like, it almost feels like we never left the stage. It's so...
It feels like home. Feels like home, basically.
It really does, and seeing familiar faces and being able to hug people and see their faces again is just so nice. But yeah, no, we really love being on stage.
Well, it shows because there seems to be that family, like you're looking at each other and you're just all just glowing and you're all happy to be there.
Oh yeah, and really our band is our second family. They're for myself, they're the closest people to me next to my actual family. Mm-hmm. And people ask us a lot, like, how are you guys so tight? And I think it's because we do things that aren't just music. We have band outings and camping trips and all that kind of stuff that we do just to spend time together outside of the music aspect of it. And our road trips are always a blast, and there's always tons of inside jokes and stories to come off of those. So yeah, it's fun.
What's been your worst experience, like in anything, like in terms of making an album or touring or getting help with promotion? I mean, John Asher's been great the last couple of years in pushing you guys.
Yeah, he is great. We love working with John Asher. I mean, that's a tough question, honestly, for me to answer, because people have just been so good to us, like, the whole way through. And being that we are a family with writing, like, we don't really butt heads as a band. We just, like, we talk about stuff and we discuss things, but there's never, like, any heated anything or anything like that. And our fans have always been really great. And the promoters that we worked with in the venues, like, they've all just been really, really great to us. We're really lucky that way.
It probably comes from you both being so, well, and the band in general being positive, that positivity comes back, right? Good things happen to good people. So I still like that happens,
Yeah.
So, okay, because we can put it out there, not put it out there, but let's get a bit of history of the band. When did you know you wanted to start this band, and how did that all come about for you guys?
So I always did music from a young age. I took piano and vocal lessons when I was younger, but that was all like conservatory classical stuff.
Right.
When I got into middle school, I kind of got into like a little a cappella R&B group. And then outside of school, I started hosting karaoke. So that's kind of where my adult music stuff started. And it was actually a couple of people that I worked with karaoke and whatnot that said, like, you need to not be doing this. You need to be doing something on your own that's bigger and more than karaoke. And I had a daughter at the time, so I had to wait until she was old enough that she could be, you know, on her own for a couple of hours while I had a jam practice and whatnot. So as soon as that happened, and as soon as, you know, my friends kind of coaxed me towards it, I started thinking about it, but it wasn't really until Calgary Metal Fest, I think 2016, maybe, when I saw Into Eternity with Amanda Kiernan, and I saw that woman on stage, and I was like, oh my God, this chick is amazing. I need to do that. And so I went home from that show, and the next day I think I put up a Kijiji ad, and Byron was the first member to answer the Kijiji ad, and so we kind of started talking. And then Brody Blaze from WMD was our first drummer, so we kind of jammed with him a bit and did some writing. He didn't really say much through once we hit stage, just because he had everything going on with his band and whatnot.
Right.
So then when Byron and I had written Unbreakable, which was the first song, we had Diva Barry with us from Thrash, and we wanted to record it. So I had reached out to Bryan, who's a friend of mine, because I also do music promotion. And so his other band I had worked with. And I was like, hey, you know, like, we want to record this single. How would you feel about recording it with us? And he's like, oh, sure. So he recorded it with us, and then he loved it, and his wife heard it, and his wife heard about Brian's experience like, practicing with us and stuff. And she was like, you need to be in that band. So she was the one who kind of coaxed him into, yeah, do it. And then we didn't really have a second guitar player at that point, but we're looking for one. And then Paul was in Damaging, who I'd put on a show for them as well. And I'd been kind of bugging him and poking at him, like, hey, you should join my band and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no, I got this going on and this going on and blah, blah, blah. And then about a year later, he was like, oh, maybe I'll check this out. And he did. And he was like, oh, shit, like, okay, I actually really like this. So he messaged me and was like, yeah, I want to come audition. And I was like, okay. And we had him in for like an hour. And we were like, yep, let's do it. It was just a natural, like, he fit right in. And then unfortunately, Diva's life happened, and as it does. And Lyxx had been to a bunch of our shows, and so we put up an ad that we were looking for a bass player, and she'd message us and, hey, can I come audition? We were like, hell yeah, you can. And she knew all the songs. Not only that, but she had like her own twist on things and her own little bits and pieces in there that just elevated where we were at already. And so again, that was just a natural, like, yeah, you're in, this is happening. You're never leaving us, your family. I'll kill you before you quit.
I guess they liked it, I guess.
Yeah, and so ride or die, baby.
I'm here. I got you.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we came to be where we are now.
And how long have you been with the band? Since the inception?
For me, this August would have been 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. I love it.
I've been asleep at the wheel, I guess, yeah.
I think a lot of us were during the pandemic. Like, I feel like 2 to 3 years of our life are just, it's just gone. I don't even think about it. Yeah.
So how long, when did you start playing bass? Or was that your first choice to play a musical instrument?
No, it wasn't my first musical introduction. I did the whole Alberta curriculum, learn handbells recorder and all that stuff in music classes and all that stuff. But when I was like 10, I was listening to a lot of back band Turner Overdrive. My dad ran back band and Guess Who and The Who and a lot of cool old bands, Grand Funk Railroad and stuff. And I was like, hey, Dad, like, what makes that sound? And he's like, the bass. And I was like, I want one. And he's like, done deal. Yeah. So about when I was like 10 or 11, he got me one, and I've just been slapping ever since. But, yeah.
I love stories like that where the parent is so supportive that they went out and they got the drums or the bass in your situation,
My parents are the
and
worst.
encouraged the music.
They are the worst. They literally would knock on my door and I'm like 10 and they're like, I can't hear you. Can you turn it up, please? And they already knew that I was loud enough. They bought me a brand new Fender Rumble amp. They just wanted to piss off the neighbors. And they're like, I can't hear you downstairs. They're just the sweetest. And I was like, oh, okay, just cranking it. And so got to practice bass and just got to actually feel the amp and the wattage and the ohms and everything as it should be first getting into it. Didn't have to quiet down or play on headphones or anything. I think I had the best introduction because, yes, my parents
are the best worst. So they're amazing. Her parents are just, I love them so much. I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
And my parents did the same. They went and bought me a piano and came to every recital and, cried at every performance I did. And still do if they can make it if it's before midnight.
There you go. Yeah.
No, those are I really like those because Mark Farner, I got to interview him about a year ago from Grand Funk Railroad, and he told me his mother actually bought him a guitar. So he has this sort of story that, it came as a gift to him from his parent. So I just think those stories are nice. Because you hear so many of these musical stories where, no, you're not going to do that. You need to do this.
Right.
No, let your children follow their dream.
And I think it goes both ways because in some cases you can have a parent that's musical that encourages musicality because they are a part of that too. And then there's the parents such as my mom who has not a musical bone in her body, still sings me happy birthday every year off key, and I love it every single time. And if I don't get one, I'm just not the same person on a birthday. But the people, who can't or who don't have the musical abilities or skills, who drive you into that and recognize that skill within you and want to hone that skill and for you to kind of, embrace it as best you can. So I'm grateful to my parents for that, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, you've already answered all my questions, so I guess
well, we're talkers.
We are.
Talk it up.
No, we can talk as long as you want.
You said you had some questions maybe about the songs or something else. We're happy to answer anything you would like us to.
Yeah, Till We Drown, that's my favorite song. How did that come about? Or any, what is it, Walk the Plank?
Walk the Plank, oh gosh. Our songs come really from so many different places, lyrically for me anyway. Some of them I'm writing, a bottle of wine on the floor in tears. Some of them I'm writing literally in the vehicle on the way to a show to perform the song. And that was one of them. So Till We Drown started with the chorus, and that chorus was stuck in our head for months and months and months and months and months. And finally it was hey, I've sat on this thing for too long. And so
2 years.
Yeah, sometimes, inspiration finds you and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need either to clear your mind or stuff it with a bunch of other things before you can get something out. And this was okay, I'm giving myself a deadline. I have to do this. So I listened to it a million times on the way there, wrote the words. And that's kind of where Till We Drown came from. And the chorus is we'll drink it down till we drown. And it's a fun party song and get people, upbeat and having a good time. And same with Walk the Plank. That's a really fun one. We really like to include our crowd as much as we can and interact with them as much as we can. So you will notice in a lot of our songs there are a lot of ohs or ahs, that people can follow along with us, or lots of gang vocals or, interactive things that we can include our audience with, which we love because, we love looking out into a crowd and you're raising your fist and everyone's doing it with you. It's so cool.
Oh, I know, because the first video off the album is you folks playing in a club or something.
Yeah, so that's Dickens Pub
in
Calgary.
You're giving the fist pump.
Yeah.
Are you Lyxx?
Yeah,
Lyxx.
Lyxx.
Yeah. You were giving fist pumps I'm like,
Yeah.
how's she playing the bass and giving fist pumps at the same time?
That's because she's crazy. Crazy awesome, though.
Because you can play up here too, right? You're just playing off here, a note off here, and you can do that.
I have no idea.
She just goes. And then we watch the videos later, like, whoa, how did you do that? Or, oh, when did that happen?
Yeah, because sometimes we miss things, like the videos come back to us and we're like, oh, did you do that? Like that's like we are interactive on stage,
Yeah.
but sometimes we miss things that are just like, oh, that's really cool. Like,
And not only that, but like if her and I are doing something and like Paul and B are doing something on the other side, or Bryan's doing something, or she's doing something, and so we watch our videos back and we're like, oh, that was cool what you did, or oh, you're an idiot, or oh, you fucked up there. Oh, we messed up. Okay, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But it's really it's fun for us to watch our shows back, because when we're in the moment, right? So we don't know what we look like. We just do it. We just
do
might
it.
look like an idiot. We might look awesome.
Yeah, it just comes natural. Yeah.
We don't care. We just have fun with it. And our audiences are always amazing.
yeah.
So thanks you to anyone who's been to a Siren show. Thank you for coming.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is you want, because you're giving that energy off to the crowd, and hopefully they're giving that energy back to you.
I feel like it's the other way around for me, honestly. Like,
Oh.
the crowd energizes me.
Oh, okay.
I love that. And, you know, and I feed off of it. So even if it's like a less attended show, you just got to find those few people that are just pumped and feed off of that. And that's kind of what I do. Anyway.
I'm dancing no matter what. I played to empty clubs and empty bars, and I'm still giving her. So
Yeah.
that's the way I am.
It doesn't matter if it's
Well-
one person or 1,000 people. You have fun.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, I guess, being in a band, a smaller band that's not really well known. You know, you have those nights where you've got smaller venues and smaller, you know.
Yeah. And that actually, she whispered in my ear. So we had somebody do a review of our first album,
Yeah,
and he called us a micro band.
a micro band.
Yeah. And we were like, what even is that? But we just kind of took it and rolled with it. We're like, okay, cool, sure, we're a micro band. Why not?
Yeah. We only want to be addressed as micro.
Only
bands.
micro band. So that's what we are. Yeah. For the time being, we're a micro band.
Well, hey, you know, he or she could have said worse. Could have said female-fronted band.
Well,
I mean, granted, we are. I just don't like it as a genre.
it's
You
not
know,
a
it's
genre.
not a genre.
We do agree it's not a genre.
No.
I talked to Kyle many years ago, lead singer of Battlecross.
Yep, I know him. Yep.
There was a whole thing that year about female-fronted bands.
Mhm.
And he says it's a cop-out. He says, for him, he says you're either good or you absolutely suck. And if you suck, you should stop doing it. He goes, there's no such thing as female-fronted band. Either they're good or they suck.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I can roll with that.
Because he's like, what does it matter if it's, like he says, are you going to take credit away from like the Runaways? You know, Joan Jett and Leader Ford are huge now on their own. You know, Vixen was big. The Go-Go's were big. You know.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of great female vocalists. Even like in BC, like Cosm Jessie, she's holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Ginger, like
Oh.
Battle Beast, Order of Chaos, Into Eternity. Like there's just so Unleash the Archers. Like there's so many amazing
I know.
bands out there that are female fronted, but it's the band that's good
Yeah.
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Because that's an instrument too.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that.
It's
Oh,
a hard one.
they're just screaming. They're just screaming. Like I'm 4 years shy of 60. Okay.
Okay.
I'm still listening to heavy metal, like death
I
metal.
think it's great.
And everybody's
People
going. People go, "Oh, you're too nice to listen to that kind of music." And it's like, I hate
have
that.
that too.
I hate that misconception of because it's heavy metal, it's all of a sudden bad.
There's definitely a stereotype that comes along with it. And even friends, like, it's funny, our producer, and that's one of the things that you might hear different in the album is we had a different producer and a different engineer and production person who helped us, Craig Carswell from Red Black Recording. And he always looks at me and he's like, you don't look like you're in a metal band. He's like, and I would never know. He's like, you're too nice for that. You're too sweet. You're whatever. And I'm like, well, screw you, buddy. They're like, let's show you
I could be
a metal person. Like, yeah, I can be angry and feisty and whatever. I mean, I am anyway, but yeah, it makes you laugh. And honestly, every metalhead, we've been to tons of festivals, Loud as Hell especially. Everyone's heart is in the right spot, you know, and it's right on their sleeve, just like the rest of us. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah, the first time I went to the rickshaw, I'm sure you know the rickshaw here in Vancouver. I was talking to the security, and I asked one of the guys. I said, "You guys ever have any problems here?" And the one guy looks at me and he goes, "Hey guys, come here. He's got a question." So he brings some of the other guys over, and he goes, he wants to know if we have any problems here, like with the crowds. And the one guy goes, "Not when it's metal." He says, "With the metal community," he goes, "it's a family." He says it's the punk and the ska shows, that's when the fights happen. But when it's the metal shows, no, everybody's like family.
Oh. And I mean, like, I've been to tons of punk shows too, and something that might look like a fight to somebody who's not in the punk scene or who doesn't know much about it, probably not necessarily a fight. It's just people having fun just and moshing, pushing each other around and moshing and getting in the pit.
Mosh pits are
whatever. They're just a bit more aggressive in the pit, I think, than metalheads are.
But it's all love.
But it's, yeah, like, it's, I don't think it's any like aggression whatsoever. It's just, you just do what you feel and you have fun in the moment.
Well, and the Canadian mosh pit is different than an American one, because in a Canadian mosh pit, they'll actually stop and pick you up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You good? Yeah, okay, pick you up. Okay, good. Go down again. Yeah, all right, we're doing this
I'm knocking you down again, yeah, exactly.
You dropped your hat, you dropped your phone, you dropped your shoes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay, you're just like following them. Here's all your stuff.
Stop dancing for 1 second.
Yeah. Just shoving it back in their pockets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we don't get to see you till next spring then?
In Vancouver, probably not. We're getting into fall and winter, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. We would have loved to have been there in the spring. Unfortunately, COVID got this bit share, so. But we definitely.
COVID's a bitch for you.
It's on the radar, 100% though.
Yeah, we've been eyeing it for a long time, so.
Too long. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to add?
I would like to quickly add that if you would like us to come and play in your area, please let us know. If you happen to have a contact for a venue or a promoter, please let us know. And to anyone and everyone who has supported us in any way, shape, or form by coming to a show, inviting someone to a show, listening to our music, sharing our music, buying our merch, anything, just thank you so much for your support. It means the world to us. And if it weren't for you, we probably would not be where we are right now.
Well, and that's the thing, right? And I like to hear that too, is bands recognizing their fans, that if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be where they're at, you know?
No, and I mean, you know, as a musician, you do primarily write for yourself, but having that second family of people who are there to see you, or even new people, like, they're so important to us as well, and we appreciate them, and we're so grateful for each and every one of them, and we love hearing from them. And nobody, please ever be shy to come up and meet us. Like, we're happy, we're huggers, we're happy to meet anybody that comes up to us.
Unfortunately, we're huggers.
We'll hug you, we'll hump you, we'll
Careful.
Whatever happens in the moment.
Careful, you don't say that too loud.
Okay, we will.
We'll love you the way you deserve to be loved.
Yes. And we will always ask for consent.
Yes. I promise.
Well, it's usually 19 plus anyway for most of the venues, right? So.
You still need consent though. That was tricky.
I will also add that yes, our second album, Heads or Tails, is out now. It is free to purchase, listen to, and wherever you guys get your music. And we also do sales internationally. So if you are looking to buy any albums, merch, t-shirts, stickers, what have it, please email us at sirenmetal@gmail.com, and we will get it out to you. We promise we will be quick with it as we can. So.
Well, in my article, I'm going to put the link in my article.
Thank you.
They can buy your stuff online.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and sorry, just quick correction. Purchase is not free, but streaming is free.
There you go.
You've had a little too much to drink, I think.
It's like water.
It's just water. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I will not confirm nor deny these claims.
It is liquid.
You don't want to give a shout out, see if you can get some free alcohol?
I mean, hey, if you want to endorse us,
I'll drink anything.
Anybody wants to endorse us, musically, alcoholically, makeup, hair,
anybody.
Actually, you know what?
Nipples, gear, yeah, any of it. Actually,
you know what? I hear it's nasty, but Jägermeister is really good for supporting up and coming talent. They actually were supporting. Yeah, they were supporting. They were supporting Huntress on their last tour before Jill's untimely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they support a lot of.
You touched my heart there because I literally have a shot of Jäger 5 minutes before every set.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
One of my rituals, well, one of our rituals for
we all have to do it.
Yeah, for those of us who do drink alcohol in the band, because 2 of our members don't, and we fully support that. But for those of us who do, we do a shot together 5 minutes before every set, and for me, it's usually almost always Jäger.
That might be your way in because concerts are back now, so they might be looking for somebody new to sponsor.
We can get on that horn with Jägermeister. And they've got 6 swag too, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got
We're coming for you, Jägermeister. Siren's coming for you.
Oh, yeah.
One last thing you did mention earlier, your promotion. You got Voxx Promotions that's been on the back burner now. You got anything coming up through that?
Yeah. I took a new job recently, which kind of has taken up a lot more of my time than my last one did. So I am still doing some, just not as much as before. But I do still have Decimate Metal Fest annually. That we both run that guy. So yeah, Decimate is going to be a thing. We're part of the Western Canadian Metal Festival Alliance, along with Loud as Hell Festival, Armstrong Metal Fest, Hyperspace, Metal Up Lipstick Fest. Yeah. Did I miss anyone?
No,
I think that's all of us. Previously Calgary Metal Fest, and maybe opening our doors to more soon. I also if we're gonna promote the festivals in the Alliance, if any of you get a chance to go check out any of those festivals, you will have an amazing time at any one of them or all of them. Make it a summer thing and go check them all out.
Check them all out.
Yeah, Decimate is definitely getting a name for itself in the last couple of years.
I'm glad to hear that. And, something that we've incorporated into the festival, actually from Siren, really, because we're trying to play more all ages events.
Right.
And to play with more underage bands, because we really believe in, our next generation, and we want to support them as best we can. So wherever we can book an all ages show, we do. And with Decimate, it's the same. We like to have it all ages. We like to have underage bands there. We like to support music schools and all that kind of stuff, and just make it open to as many people as we possibly can.
Well, that's great, because music shouldn't be limited to just one age group.
I agree. The only thing we need to do now is try to get the shows starting a little bit earlier in the night, because they do tend to go pretty late. But yeah, it's something that, so we have a show in October in Edmonton at Temple, and that will be an all ages show as well. And the same with our release was all ages. So yeah, we're trying to incorporate that and play all ages events and venues as often as we can.
Yeah, because a lot of times the kids are the ones that make the decisions, right?
Oh,
Look at the movies and look at the music that they're buying, right? Like, they're ultimately making the decisions because they're not at home with their families. You know, they don't have young kids to look after. They're out enjoying themselves like we used to when we were younger.
Yeah. Yeah, not only that, but like the younger kids, you know, the parents at that point aren't looking for a babysitter. Like, oh, I can't come because I need a sitter. Well, bring them with you. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I myself, I'm a single parent, so I completely understand, you know, having to bring your kid with you, and that's great. But honestly, like, the younger guys are so much fun to see. We bring them up on stage with us, and we see them in the crowds, and seeing like a 4-year-old sitting there with earmuffs on and horns in the air, just freaking out. Like, it's just the best ever. And so you mentioned walk the plank earlier. So something that we do with some of our shows, if we can, is we've actually built a plank that we have kids walk off the stage. They walk the plank, and it's just a blast. It's a lot of fun. Or if you're sword guy at Loud as Hell Festival, we kick you down the plank into a crowd and they carry you off, crowd surfing the whole way. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we really do try to incorporate our audience as best we can.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's almost like a magic show in a way.
We like to think of it as a production rather than just an event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And an experience, really.
Well, yeah, because they want to come away with more than just a T-shirt or a CD, you know.
Well, as Decimate Metal Fest slogan is "Metal makes memories," and it really does. Music makes memory, metal makes memories. Yeah. And so, if we can put that memory into your head and you carry it for a while, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, and I certainly wish you the best on this new album.
Thank you.
I think it totally slays. Like, it just.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not because I'm talking to you right now. I listened to it twice today, and I was like, "Damn, this is so solid."
Thank you. We're so glad you enjoyed it.
Together for this too. Because the last album, I promised I was going to get some press for you, and I never did. So I'm like, John, I got to do something this time. I told Sloan last time I was going to do something, and I never followed through. So.
How dare you? I'm just kidding. Unbelievable.
Guilty as charged.
No, I'm so glad we were able to connect and have Lyxx here too. It's nice to be able to do interviews with other members when I get a moment. So yeah, it's good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very
much.
Well,
when I talked to Iron Kingdom last year, all 4 members were sitting, you know, because they're just in Vancouver anyway. But
yeah. No, we love them. We've had the pleasure of playing with them before too.
They're sweet.
They're a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them at the venue. Amanda was still playing drums for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think she was when we played with them too. Yeah, I think so.
Because they had that trip to Calgary where it was almost fatal.
Oh yeah, that was them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, we were so grateful that they arrived here safely when they did. Yeah.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We actually talked about it. The bass player, I forget his name, he was saying, you know, that the night before it was such a high for them because it was them. I forget who the other band was, but then it was Unleash the Archers. And Unleash the Archers had just been signed to Napalm Records.
Nice.
They were going to be doing a North American tour, and then Iron Kingdom were going to be doing a cross Canada tour. And the first stop was Calgary. And then they had. And you go.
I've had the pleasure of working with Unleash the Archers.
Great high, and then it just this huge low.
I know it's so unfortunate with that when that happens. But really, I mean, as long as everyone's safe, that's what matters in the end. And you know, when breakdowns happen or things like that happen, really everyone does band together to help as best they can. And that's another good thing about the community is just everyone helps if they can and whenever they can.
Well, I thank you both for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Nice getting to meet you both, other than
likewise
talking to you on Facebook.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I'm sure we'll do that again too, but this has been nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'll send you this when it's all ready to rock and roll.
Thank
Literally.
you so much.
My pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you in the spring.
Us
Yeah.
too. Us
Yeah.
too. We'll keep you posted once we've got that all ironed out.
I'm sure John will be sending out press on that too.
Probably, yeah.
And I want to thank John too for setting this up.
Yeah,
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for not coming to Loud as Hell this year, shithead. I'm just kidding. We'll see you soon, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, all the best.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.